Hey guys, Comic Creep here, bringing you some Guns of Icarus. Just going to commentate a match, show you guys what the game's kind of like. It's going to be a 2v2 on Battle of the Dunes, which is lacking in physical terrain itself, but features several dust clouds, which do passive damage to your engines and weapons. First, we have a goldfish set up pretty standard with a manticore. It's going to have medium range harass and area control. And then we have his teammate, who's going to be a Permidian. Has your basic hull damage with flat cannon and Gatling gun on the front. Then we have another goldfish with manticore on front, same as the one on the red team. And another Permidian set up the same as the one on the other team. Strange that they actually found such similar ships and set up when the captains actually customized them. So the goldfish takes a quick stay in the dust cloud, which does a significant amount of damage to his weapons, not so much the engines though. While the Permidian hangs low, close to the ground at low altitude, and manages to spot both of red teams, there would be no surprise action here. The Manticore, being ineffective at that range, has failed to do any damage to the red team's Permidian that's heading up the front. But both teams are laying into each other with long-range weapons nonetheless. The flat cannon can be marginally more effective in this job, but the Manticore seems to actually have scored a couple hits on the front cannon. Red team's flat cannon gunner is actually scoring quite a few hits on the other Permidian's hull, but is soon going to take some return fire from the Manticore. Red team's goldfish staying high above the battle and using its Manticore to put some pressure on the goldfish in the back. But both of blue team's ships are focusing pretty hard on the Permidian hanging back, scoring quite a few hits with the Manticore and the flat guns, and it's going to make the Permidian the first one to crumble, scoring blue team the first point of the game. This leaves red team's goldfish by itself, but by keeping its cautious positioning in a higher altitude, it remains safe and in a pretty nice position afterwards. Perfectly set up to hit some serious Manticore hits onto the enemy goldfish hull. With the goldfish's Manticore reloading, and trying to set up for its second volley, the Permidian hits some serious long-range shots against the balloon. Another vicious Manticore volley slams into the blue team's goldfish, forcing it to leave the battle and go for higher altitude in order to let its engineers repair their systems. But the red team's newly respawned Permidian lays in on it with some serious flak fire to do some damage to the hull and balloon. Blue team's Permidian still chasing down red team's goldfish and scoring a dangerous amount of Gatling fire onto the goldfish's hull, which in the end will be enough to crumble the goldfish, scoring blue team a second point in this game, making the score now 2-0. Red team's Permidian staying fire back and actually going into reverse to keep some distance and stay away from the Manticore and utilize its long-range flat cannons to do some damage. While the red team's goldfish spawns quite far away, and it's going to be some time before the Permidian gets some assistance. Red team's Permidian still backing up devastates the blue team's Permidian, doing a lot of damage to balloon and hull armor, but not looking out from behind him. He actually crashes into the terrain, doing a substantial amount of hull damage and allowing blue team to finally crumble him with a lot of concentrated flak fire. This now makes the score 3-0 for blue team. It's looking pretty dismal for the red team, but there's new hope with the goldfish sneaking around and not actually being seen. This opens up an opportunity for the goldfish to unleash its Manticore on the wounded Permidian and may actually score the first kill for the red team. Pressing the advantage, the goldfish goes ahead and starts firing upon the Permidian, trying to get as close as possible to guarantee as many hits. Unfortunately, blue team's Permidian slides by the goldfish on denying another Manticore volley, which might be the end of it. But the red team's Permidian catches up and starts laying in on some flak fire on the blue team's Permidian, trying to force it to the ground by aiming for its balloon. The Permidian's feeling the pressure with really low hull armor and a severely damaged balloon. Blue team's goldfish catches red team's goldfish out of position and starts firing its Manticore at the engines to slow it down, and then proceeds to crash straight into it, forcing it into the terrain. In response, red team's goldfish stacking a lot of fire on blue team's goldfish and sending it towards the ground, losing its balloon at the same time. This is a dangerous situation for both teams' goldfish because they're going to be taking a lot of hull damage from hitting the ground, but making the best of the situation, red team's goldfish unleashes a huge volley into the blue team's goldfish using its Manticore, doing enough damage to crumble the blue team's goldfish. But the blue team's Permidian also comes in trying to take revenge on the red team's goldfish. The heavily damaged goldfish is easily destroyed, scoring blue team their fourth point in the game. Red team's newly respawned Permidian taking its second chance to attack. It actually destroys blue team's Permidian, which so far in the game hasn't died, scoring red team their second point. Blue team's newly respawned goldfish comes around the dust cloud and starts firing volleys of Manticore rockets down at the blue team's Permidian. Confident in his ability to hit, the Goldfish's gunner loads in heavy clip and tries for another long-range barrage, failing to do any damage to the red team's Promethean. At this long range, the Promethean has a huge advantage using its flak gunner to score early hits on the Goldfish's hull, which actually might be the team's saving grace, putting the Goldfish in a bad place right off the bat. Trying to maintain his advantage, the Promethean stays in reverse and continues harassing with his flak gun. But now at a more dangerous range, the Goldfish is able to launch another Manticore barrage, doing a significant amount of damage to the balloon and weapons, actually destroying one of the weapons, but the balloon is swiftly repaired. Red team's Goldfish, coming to his allies' rescue, lays in with a huge barrage right onto the blue team's Goldfish's hull. But not far behind is blue team's newly respawned Promethean, who opens up with a dangerous amount of flak cannon and Gatling fire into the Goldfish's engines. Blue team's Goldfish, feeling the pressure, taking a lot of damage from both of the combined red team's ships, is barely holding on, but manages to stay alive for the blue team Promethean to score the final kill on red team's Goldfish, ending the game 2-5. I hope you enjoyed that battle, guys. More Guns of Icarus to come. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.